This video is going to do very poorly. That's just because of the subject matter. You see, today I'm going to be talking about AI. And I know AI is a very sensitive topic on the internet, but I think it's important we address some things. This video is unscripted, so let's just get right into it. Anyway, AI is obviously a very powerful tool that we can use to our advantage and we can use to our disadvantage. No, I'm not flat out pro AI or anti AI. I like to think I have pretty nuanced opinions about AI and stuff that it can and can't do and the consequences of things it might do. And I understand that a lot of people might have personal, moral, psychological qualms about AI and AI use, and that's great. But what I want to focus on right now is the effect that AI has had on gaming and technology in general, because it's inflated a lot of prices really badly, and there's no telling if they'll ever go back down. Like, do you see a world where Apple lowers the prices after they've raised them? Because now most of their products, pretty much every product besides the iPhone, has a raised price. Like, are they going to lower those once the RAM apocalypse is over? I don't think that's something that they or anyone else who's raised their prices is going to do. This is I think this is just the way prices are now. And that's like really sad. Like RAM companies, DRAM modules might go down in price again. I could see that happening because that is a market. It's a very saturated market with a lot of competition, and competition drives prices down when they can go down. So I bet DRAM modules that you physically put into the computer will go down, but everything needs RAM. Like pretty much everything besides your toaster needs some sort of unified memory. And that's why it's concerning because all of the prices for everything are going up. Cars, even. Like self driving cars need like 100 gigabytes, I think it was, of memory to do self driving. And self driving is a great feature that a lot of people rely on. And I bet like the person who's buying a self-driving car isn't the kind of person who's going to care about like $1,000 price increase in said car, but it's going to happen. Everything goes up in price with RAM. The world is very RAM dependent, and we can see that now because before this we couldn't really see that we needed RAM this much. Like it was just something we took for granted a lot. And that is largely in part the prices being raised are almost entirely AI's fault. AI data centers and, the craze for money, but it is a bubble and it will probably pop. There have been tons of bubbles. The dot com bubble, that thing, a lot of people, invested a lot of money into that, and then all of the weird random dot com startups went belly up. Same thing with things like DoorDash, or not DoorDash specifically, but like deliveries like that. That was a whole thing. Trying to think of another one. Yeah, I don't know. But, there's just things like that. And then, like, the Industrial Revolution. This is a pro AI statement, but please don't click off yet. The Industrial Revolution did screw a lot of jobs up and just get rid of them, but it also created a lot of jobs, which is something we do need to acknowledge. Like, AI will probably create a lot of jobs, just as many as it loses. I recently reread one of my favorite books. It's called Scythe. And basically, it's in a world where a benevolent AI rules over all. And it's cracked the code to immortality. So there are these people called scythes who go around and they glean people to curb the population. So basically, they just go around legally accepted and socially accepted murderers, pretty much. But the point in that book is the AI, right? It conquered everything. It doesn't need people to work, but there is a base salary that everyone gets every year, which is something that could happen in our world. But you can get the base salary. Everyone gets the base salary, but you can also work to get more money. And a lot of the jobs are redundant and pretty much just like, to watch, not to watch, but so that humans can have something to do and they can feel purpose, even if it isn't actually there. And like, you might just thinking of that, right? You might feel like that's just like making humans zoo animals or something, but that isn't the point. The point is that humans will have work, and there are also new jobs, that were created. That like very few jobs in that world have actual purpose, but that's not the point. The point is like jobs will be created one way or another. I don't think like they young people today their first real job isn't going to be one that exists right now. And that's something we have to be okay with. Like, there's going to be change. Change is going to happen. And I mean, change for the better is a good thing. But who's to say this is for the better? I I don't know. Like, I I don't want to come across as anti AI, but I also don't want to come across as pro AI, because even though it seems like we've had ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok or whatever, it seems like we've had them forever. But like, ChatGPT came out in like 2023 and it was not good back then. We've only had good or decent AIs the last like year and a half. So it's really something, it's a new thing and we need to watch it develop. I read an article. It was going to be one of my videos, but it didn't happen. Uh, OpenAI warned about how agent AIs, like when you ask it to do something on your computer, so their ChatGPT agent, when it had long tasks, it would get sidetracked and go completely rogue and not follow your instructions, which isn't something you want when that thing is controlling your computer. Like, it could do so many things. It could, screw up your job and send a message to your boss and get you fired, delete important baby pictures, delete your homework files or whatever. Like, it could really screw up your computer and your life because our society is pretty technologically dependent. And when you use an agent, you pretty much hand over your entire life to a robot and just trust it, which is one thing. Like, obviously, that's a compromise that some people are willing to make because, I mean, that's probably an isolated incident and it probably won't happen to the vast majority of people, but it happens. It's happened with coding agents and all of that stuff. Like, it's not, it's something that happens, is what I'm trying to say. And we just need to be cautious about that. Let's talk about the consumer department, like consumer electronics specifically, just being AI now. Like, at CES last year, I was so excited. I was going to make so many videos about it, but it was all just AI. Like, AI vacuums. There was actually a lot of cool vacuums, but like AI vacuums, AI laptops, just AI focused laptops. Like, you're buying the laptop to ask Copilot a question? What? What do they mean by that? Like, AI modeling, AI coding? Like, who's that for? Who's buying that? Seriously. Like, that product doesn't have an audience. Who wants that? It makes no sense. But everything's AI now. Your toaster is AI. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if like those super smart and weird future toasters with a screen, they probably have AI now. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, Copilot and Xbox, and even like Valve, and Valve can't do any wrong. They have Steam GPT references in their code. No one talks about that one because it's Valve, but like, it's there. Steam Decks and Steam machines, they may get AI features in the future. It might happen. I mean, it will happen. Everything's going to have AI in the future. I also don't think we have to be too worried about it right now. Like, just because there are these massive data centers, uh, I mean, like, sure, it's concerning. They use a lot of power. They do use a lot of water. There are a lot of environmental concerns to be had there, but technology gets more efficient. Like with Google's TurboQuant, uh, now you can have much larger and better memories with AI with much less RAM. Like, stuff just gets more efficient. Like, you know, the first computer was the size of an apartment and made the lights in the entire city dimmer. But now the computer you hold in your hands, and are maybe even watching this video on, it's a million times stronger than that, probably multi-millions of times stronger than that. And it's small and it doesn't require a lot of electricity. It's super efficient. It can do way more. And they stopped getting literal bugs. Like, the first computer bug was an actual bug in the machine, which, a lot of people look at that and laugh, but there's a deeper meaning there. We stopped getting bugs in our machines because they got more efficient, they got smaller, they got better. And I mean, that same thing's going to happen with AI, whether we like it or not. It's not something we can control, it's just something that's going to happen. Oh, like I said, not pro or anti AI. I'm just trying to cope with all of this that's happening right now. I really want to build a PC. I don't want to spend $5,000 on DDR5 RAM, and DDR4 isn't looking much better. it's a, there's terrible market conditions right now. Like the cheapest PC with used parts I built, I configured on Newegg, and I think the total was like $800 or something. And like that's a lot of money for the cheapest PC I can think of. Granted, it wasn't like like 1660 super levels. It was like RX 6600 XT and or Ryzen 5 5500, 16 gigs of DDR4, 1 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe, whatever. But like it was $800, and like a few months ago, just with the RAM and SSD alone, that would have been like $300 less. And like, why can't that be now? If you watch the video from earlier today, my computer's a potato. Um, I'm gonna need a new computer at some point, and I don't know how that's gonna work because computers are $1 billion just because of RAM. Maybe maybe AI won't get more efficient, but maybe we'll come up with a solution to RAM or something. I don't know. I'm just saying problems like this don't last forever. Like the crypto mining thing, that was the one I was remembering. The crypto mining thing with the that like everyone was buying 3090s, 4090s mining crypto. But then everyone realized that it wasn't very profitable, and they sold all those GPUs for cheap, and the GPU shortage ended. Like a lot of AI startups will realize that AI isn't profitable. They're like two companies making money off AI, and they are not the tiny AI startups doing random AI things. Like those that RAM and those GPUs and those that storage, it's gonna hit eBay one day. That's gonna be a nice day, sure, but it'll also signify the beginning of the end. And, this is very end game in the long run here because this shortage probably won't end until like 2027 or something. But, the best we can do is wait and just understand that it won't last forever. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.